You're at the dinner. Conversation is happening all around you. Someone's story gets a big laugh. There's warmth in the room. And underneath it all, a feeling of being completely unreached. In 2023, the U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy declared loneliness a public health epidemic. Not because people were physically isolated, because millions of socially active, digitally connected people were reporting a profound sense of disconnection from genuine human contact. You are not unusual. You are a participant in the defining social paradox of our time, and it has a specific neurochemical cause and a specific practical fix. Today, we cover both. The paradox: why more connection creates more loneliness. Here's the central irony of modern social life. The more we optimized for connection, the worse we became at it. Robert Waldinger directs Harvard's study of adult development, the longest-running study of human happiness ever conducted, now in its 8th decade. His team found one thing above everything else that predicts life satisfaction, health, and longevity. The quality of close relationships, not the quantity, not the frequency, the depth. Social media optimizes for quantity and frequency. It has no mechanism for depth. It is architecturally incapable of giving the nervous system what it actually needs from connection. The neuroscience, dopamine versus oxytocin. Your brain uses two completely different chemistries for social connection, and they cannot substitute for each other. Understanding this one distinction changes how you see your entire social life. Dopamine, digital connection. Oxytocin, real connection, triggered by likes, notifications, follower counts, online validation, social comparison. Triggered by physical presence, genuine vulnerability, being truly seen and heard, sustained attention from another person. Effect, pleasure spike to rapid decay to craving for more. Highly addictive feedback loop. Effect, sustained sense of belonging, stress reduction, measurable nervous system regulation. Result, more connected, more alone. The dopamine cycle of modern loneliness. Result, less frequent, but fundamentally nourishing, the chemistry of real belonging. The Svadhisthana connection, where ancient science maps to modern chemistry. Yogic science mapped the same distinction centuries earlier in the Svadhisthana, the sacral center. Its element is water, flowing, connective, nourishing. Not static, not performing, genuinely moving toward what it needs. Svadhisthana, when nourished. Svadhisthana, when depleted, genuine expression feels natural. Vulnerability is possible. You can be known and know others. Connections multiply in quantity. Each one stays on the surface. Genuine expression feels risky. Connection has texture and depth. Even brief conversations leave you feeling met. You perform engagement rather than offer it. Surrounded, unreached. Result, the loneliness that doesn't look like loneliness dissolves. Result, the modern loneliness epidemic precisely described. Why vulnerability is the gateway and why we protect against it. Real connection has a single irreducible requirement: the willingness to be genuinely seen. Brené Brown's research on vulnerability and connection, documented in Daring Greatly, is unambiguous. Authentic connection cannot exist without vulnerability, not dramatic vulnerability, not trauma sharing on first meeting. But the simple willingness to let someone see what's actually true for you in this moment. And here's why we avoid it. Sensitivity feels dangerous. People will judge. I'll seem weak. I'm not sure they actually care. These aren't irrational fears. They're nervous system threat assessments. The fawn response from day 3, the emotional numbness from day 4, they are all at root the same protection mechanism applied to connection, the system that learned to suppress authentic expression in order to stay safe. And that suppression, taken too far, produces the loneliness of being fully present in a room and completely unmet. The gateway back is not more connections, it's one real one. Chloe's story, the emotional anchor. Let me tell you about Chloe, 28 years old, social media manager at a digital agency in New York City. By professional definition, she was one of the most relationally adept people in the building, managing community engagement for 3 brands, understanding audience psychology intuitively, always knowing exactly the right thing to say online. She had 2,400 Instagram followers. She went to events. She had people she could call. She hadn't had a conversation in 2 years that felt genuinely real. She'd noticed the pattern but never named it. The conversations that stayed on the surface. The social events that left her feeling emptier than before she went. The professional mode she slipped into automatically, even with people she genuinely liked. Then one Tuesday in a meeting break, a colleague asked how she was. Really, how she was in a way that wasn't rhetorical. Chloe paused, and instead of the automatic response, she said, "Honestly, I feel quite alone lately, even when I'm with people." Her colleague looked at her, then said, "Me too. I thought it was just me." That was the exchange, 6 words, and a reply of equal honesty. No grand gesture, no therapy speak, just 2 people in a meeting room on a Tuesday telling the truth. Week 1, started the self-connection check every morning. Noticed she didn't know most days how she actually felt until she stopped and asked. Week 2, had 1 real exchange per day, small, low stakes. That was harder than I expected. I actually didn't enjoy last night. The responses surprised her. Week 3, a friendship she'd had for 4 years, which had been entirely surface level, became something else. After 1 honest conversation. Week 4, she still managed social media for a living, but she'd stopped mistaking it for connection. The loneliness she described as chronic was gone. Quick pause here. If this is landing, if you felt what Chloe described, subscribe now. Hit the bell, because tomorrow is day 7. Tomorrow is the one we've been building toward all week. We go to the question beneath all of this, beneath the morning anxiety, the burnout, the people-pleasing, the numbness, the 3 a.m. mind, the loneliness in company. The biggest question, what's it all for? That's the crown response, the Sahasrara. And it is the most important video in this series. Make sure you don't miss it. Technique 1, the self-connection check. 5 minutes, any time of day. The premise, you cannot connect genuinely with others if you don't have access to yourself. Most modern loneliness isn't caused by a lack of other people. It's caused by disconnection from your own interior state, which makes it impossible to bring anything real into contact with anyone else. This practice rebuilds that interior access. It is the foundation everything else rests on. Step 1, 1 minute, sit alone. 3 natural breaths, no agenda. This is the decompression step, moving from external performance mode to internal awareness. Your nervous system needs this transition before it can accurately report what's actually present. Step 2, 2 minutes. Ask yourself one question. How am I actually feeling right now? Not how should I be feeling, or how am I going to present as feeling, how you actually are. Fine is the answer the protective mechanism gives, not the svadhisthana. Stay with it until something more specific arrives. Slightly tired and carrying something from that meeting. Quietly content and mildly anxious about tomorrow. Real. Step 3, 1 minute. Acknowledge it simply. Yes, this is true right now. Nothing more required. No fixing, no improving, no explaining. This acknowledgement is the act of self-connection. It is oxytocin at the self level. Step 4. 1 minute. Carry that specific knowledge into the next conversation you have today. Not to share it, unless it feels right, just to know it. When you know what's true for you, something quieter and more real comes through in every interaction, even brief ones. Why it works. You cannot offer genuine connection while performing a version of yourself. This practice closes the gap between the performed version and the real one. even by 5%. That 5% changes every conversation. Technique 2. The real exchange. Once per day. Once a day, in any conversation with anyone you trust even slightly, say one thing that is genuinely true, not dramatic, not a disclosure. Just one thing that is actually what you feel or think, rather than the managed version. Situation managed response. Real exchange. How are you? Yeah, all good. Busy, but good. Honestly, a bit flat today. Not sure why. You? After a difficult meeting. That meeting was fine. That meeting was harder than I expected. I didn't say what I actually thought. Checking in on someone. I'm good. How are you? I've been thinking about you. How did that thing last week actually go? The rule match. The vulnerability to the relationship. Start low stakes. Build gradually. The exact words matter less than the genuine intention behind them. The Svadhisthana doesn't need perfect expression. It needs honest expression. Waldinger's Harvard research found that brief moments of genuine exchange, even in passing, contribute meaningfully to the subjective experience of connection. It is not the length or frequency of contact that builds belonging. It is the quality of even one honest moment within it. Technique 3. The connection gratitude practice. 3 minutes. Every night. This practice works because it directly counters the nervous system's negativity bias towards social interaction. Loneliness trains the brain to scan for absence, for who isn't there, who didn't reach out, what's missing. This practice trains it to register presence. The practice. Specificity is everything. Name one person, someone who is genuinely in your life, in whatever capacity. Think of one specific quality or one specific moment. Real, concrete, not general. Real examples. My dad, the way he always picks up the phone, every single time, without fail. My colleague at work, she remembered I was nervous about the presentation and asked me after. My college friend, we haven't spoken in 3 months, but when we do, it's immediately real. The stranger at the coffee shop who held the door and made genuine eye contact. That was a moment. Send a message, not a performance of gratitude, a real, specific one. I was thinking about that time you said, I'm glad you did. Or simply, thought of you today. Hope you're well. What this does neurologically, it triggers an oxytocin response in both people. You, for the genuine expression, them, for being genuinely seen. Real connection is bidirectional. It begins with one person's willingness to initiate reality. The 30-day relational restoration protocol, days 1 to 7, self-connection. The 5-minute self-connection, check every day. No other additions. The single task, know how you actually feel before you engage with the world. Everything else builds on this foundation. Days 8 to 14, add real exchange self-check plus 1 genuine exchange per day. Low stakes, not dramatic. Just one thing that's actually true, with one person who is at least slightly safe. Notice the quality of their response. Days 15 to 21. Full protocol. All 3 practices, self-check plus real exchange plus connection gratitude. Pay attention to which relationships begin to feel different. That shift is the Svadhisthana reopening. Days 22 to 30. Let depth arrive. Continue all 3. This week, notice how you feel after conversations that stayed on the surface versus ones where something real passed between you. Let that difference guide where you invest connection energy going forward. Signs. The Svadhisthana is restoring conversations begin to feel less effortful and more nourishing. You find yourself bored by surface-level interaction in a way you weren't before. 1 or 2 relationships shift. They become something they weren't. The loneliness doesn't disappear, but it changes quality. It becomes a clear preference for depth rather than an aching absence. Closing, plus day 7. Build, the series finale, that's day 6. Here's what you're carrying out of today. Modern loneliness is the dopamine loop of digital connection replacing the oxytocin of genuine human presence. The relational life force, svadhisthana, needs water quality connection, flowing, genuine, present. Social media provides none of this at the neurochemical level. Sensitivity is the gateway, not the weakness. Vulnerability is the only mechanism through which real connection occurs. 3 practices: the self-connection check, the real exchange, the connection gratitude, all manageable, all transformative over time. Tomorrow, day 7, the final day. We've spent 6 days working through the specific symptoms of burnout, the morning dread, the hollow success, the compulsive yes, the emotional shutdown, the 3 a.m. mind, the loneliness in company. Tomorrow, we go to the root of all of them. The question that sits beneath every single one. What is the point of all this? When purpose has gone quiet, when you're doing everything right and it still feels like something is missing, that's the crown response, the Sahasrara, and it is the most important, most personal video in this entire series. Tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Subscribe now, hit the bell, and make sure you stay to the very end. Day 7 closes with something specific for everyone who has made it through the week. Tonight, do the connection gratitude practice. Name one person, one specific thing. Come back tomorrow and tell me who you thought of. Burnout Science.